Hi friends, this is Carrie doing our breathing practice series. This is the third one. I'm going to go over alternate nostril breathing. Yeah, so it's pretty simple. And at the end I'll kind of weave them together. Just a little bit, just really briefly. So alternate nostril breathing is as it sounds. You breathe through one nostril, you exhale through the other. So you can do this in a few different ways. Traditionally, we use the thumb and ring finger. I actually like to use the thumb on one hand and then the thumb on the other hand. I like to just keep switching. That way my shoulders don't get tired, and then I can play with a little bit of breath retention if I want. So that's one way to do it. You could also just use one hand and do ring finger and thumb. If for whatever reason you have pain or you don't have a digit or like whatever, do it any which way. You're just closing a nostril and then closing the other nostril, right? So find a way that works for you. All right, I'm gonna do this without my glasses. So the pattern is, it's an inhale through one nostril, a switch, and exhale through the other nostril. Right, so that's the pattern. Then you inhale, switch, and exhale. Don't worry, I'll lead us through it. I just want you to see the pattern. Right, so that's the whole pattern. So find a comfortable seat, sit up nice and tall, find a good place for your hands to go. For now, you're gonna move them in a second. And I always start with a little centering, right? Just like notice your body. Notice your breath. Feel the breath moving through your body. Now, I like to start this with a slow, deep breath, but if it makes more sense for you to just let this be a really natural breath, you can do it that way. So if you're with me, right, start to slow down your breath. Being really patient, wait for that moment when the lungs are full. Wait for that moment when the lungs are empty. Good. Great. Next time you feel yourself inhaling, close the right nostril so that you're inhaling through the left. When you feel full, switch, exhale through the right nostril. When you're empty, inhale right. Exhale, other side. So you inhale, you switch, you exhale. So you decide if this makes sense to have that complete breath. So it's an inhale, a switch, and an exhale. So next time you inhale, if you want, hold the breath in for a second or two. Before you switch. So inhale, hold, switch. So once that becomes a little more familiar, you can play with the amount of time that you hold the breath, but the pattern remains the same. You inhale through one nostril, you switch, you exhale through the other. Inhale through one nostril, switch, exhale through the other. So go one more round. Next time you exhale through the left nostril, let that be the last one. Then you can release your hand. Take a few breaths. Notice how you feel. So just taking in the effect, right? In yoga school, they teach us we're balancing one hemisphere of the brain with the other. So that like creative brain with that I can do complicated things, right? Like those two different parts, right? Emotional brain, strategic brain. So we're creating balance. So just notice if you feel that, if you don't, whatever you do feel, that's correct. Yeah, all right, good work.